They've had much more chances in the inside 50 than we've been talking about, Freo, but Richmond are slightly up on clearances, even contested possession. So it's more that they just can't get the ball through their half-forward line. Richmond just keeps bouncing back for Fremantle.
So a vital turn for both these clubs. Umpire Donlan puts it down. Norwich knocks it down. Jackson wasn't in possession. He's going to get the footy. He got boots of ball, but he just hacked it out of mid-air. So Jackson drives it out wide. A high ball intended for Marriage, who did very nicely. Just too big for Mazungu. Going back with the flight of the ball showed wonderful judgment. Across towards Pettit. Pettit chips towards the pocket. The mark is taken down there by Nahas. So Nahas can be very lively. I haven't seen him play too many bad games, but just for the moment at least, he's out of favour with the Tigers.
Be back in favour if he can slot this one, Dennis. They need to take every chance because they're not getting many of them.
Yes, to bring it back to 3 if he kicks a goal. Puts it right across the front. Vickery was up. Crossed the line by Hill, who's been very good tonight, Stephen Hill. He's up to 22 possessions. So the margin now is 8 points. Doc is on top at the beginning of this final term on Friday Night Football.
Clancy Pearce does the kicking in, finds McFarlane in front of Edwards. It's been good, Tom, coming back into the team tonight.
He's been outstanding, one of the best players on the ground, in my opinion.
Acting captain, of course, in the absence of Matthew Pavlich. That's a long kick. Rance got his fist on it. Crowley to Fife. Well done by Rance again. He got a hand in there, and well done by Fife. He got it somehow to Crowley, back to Fife. Not sure that Fife wanted the third one, and in the end, Cochin just escorting it over the line.
He could be the player to get free. Cochin at the moment, starting across half-forward. Clancy Pearce is going to him and then filling space in the defensive 50.
History against the Tigers, though. 18 years since Richmond have won at Subi when trailing at three-quarter time. You need to go back to round 16, 1995, Fremantle's first year. Barlow was third man up there, straight down to Knights, wrapped up in a good tackle by Subban. Had it a long time and could only be holding the ball.
That was a great tackle. Mazungu inside the centre square. Ibbotson needs to be quick, and he was. Main's got it. Big play coming up here. Main looks inside the forward 50, decides against it, squares it up. Dawson releases it for Spurs. Spurs sees a leading target. Oh, wow. Ballantyne hasn't moved. They met at the football lowdown, and Ballantyne really feeling the effects of that one. Courage from both players. Cochin's got a free kick in the aftermath.
Just two players going for the footy.
Oh, wow.
Huge courage from both players. Got to say, particularly Cochin. Great eyes on the footy for both.
Just outstanding stuff.
The free kicks against Cochin, I think they've been interpreted the sliding rule for that second. Not the one against Ballantyne, but the next bit of play, which we'll probably have a look at in a minute.
Yeah, certainly the second one.
Well, Spurs got the football, so a break for Fremantle. Sends it long down towards full forward. Reaching over the top, almost the first gamer there in Hanneth. Tigers get it out of there, though. Well played by Vickery. Seemed destined for the chest of Ibbotson. Vickery reaching over the top and punching it away.
Let's have a look at this. This Cochin, when he dives, not this one, it's the next one after that. When he dives after the footy is when the free kick was played, not that incident.
Griffin and Marriage, sorry, Lee. Taken there by Edwards. He kicks towards Vickery. He's right there with Johnson, and it's not a bad result for the Tigers. The ball over the line.
I think Richmond have got to try and get Johnson as the deepest defender. They just can't get past him at the moment. He needs to be the last defender, or else it's going to be very, very hard.
So tossed in on half forward for Fremantle. Fife, who's been so busy tonight, out Subban's way. Was he pushed in the back? Edwards on top of him, and in the end the umpire had no other choice.
It took a while there.
I couldn't even see him
underneath.
I didn't see him get up again.
Terrible effort there. The handball from Subban came back to him, and then he gives it to Hill. He's a thumping kick, we know. That's offline though, and he's missed everything, out of bounds on the full.
This is the one we're talking about.
Yep.
Surely that hasn't been played as a sliding rule. I think that's the wrong interpretation of the sliding rule. He was, but I'm sure that's what the free kick was made against Cochin.
That was almost second effort, wasn't it, after the same ball?
Yeah, it was.
For 100 years, we've said that's great courage. Like, we've just got to be a little bit careful we don't go too far with that rule.
Rance outside the defensive 50. Pierce, that's Daniel, smothered off the boot. Subban goes in. That ball just leaking to the side. Grigg in the back. Well, if it's not holding the ball, chances are it'll be in the back. Subban, who is a powerful kick, takes something off this kick, and that's clever. That is beautiful. Everybody dropping back because of what he did in the previous corner. And suddenly he just nursed that one onto the chest of May.
Just a really smart kick, and we see so many players kick the long points, which really are a waste of time. He's obviously a long, prodigious kick at the footy. Pulled it off, and the Richmond players, as you say, Dan, went right back on the line, but needed to have someone smart enough to know that it's going to drop 15 metres short.
Chris Mayne makes the big stage of Friday night. Going at his third right here, and he puts it through, and this is their biggest margin. They're up by 14 points. That was a smart kick. Subban has been in the doghouse for most of the week, got a reprieve tonight, and I tell you what, he's made the most of it.
Yeah, he's been good. He's been really good. He's used the ball well. He's had the 10 disposals. Importantly, 9 of those kicks. He kicks the ball exceptionally well. Driven inside 50 a few times, and a bit of lip going on at the moment. And
that was a bad trait of the Tigers last week. Did a lot of talking.
Yeah.
A lot of talking.
They'll need the centre bounce, Richmond, to keep in this game. They look okay if they can get the ball deep forward, but this is where they've got to start, from their centre bounces.
Biggest lead of the game now, Lee, for the Dockers. They must get the next goal, you think, Richmond. Subban again with a clearance now. Deledio chopped it off. He sends it towards half forward. Well done in front. That's a brilliant mark by Jackson. Mazungu, not an easy man to beat. And he did that very well, Jackson. He went to play on in the end, held up. He kicks long down in the revolt direction. Clancy Pierce fires it out to Barlow. Ibbotson back in the team. He's been terrific tonight. Here's Daniel Pierce from half back. Kick not ideal, and the mark chopped off by Marriage. Plays on quickly. That was a tough ball, wasn't it, Ellis? Could have bounced anyway. It was all right in the end. And Pettard now sends them forward towards Revolt. Well done, Clancy Pierce. Got back, but then he left the footy behind. Knights is there. Might have been pushed in the back. No, free. Bottom of that pack. Fremantle's Clancy Pierce. The umpire says he will bounce. Well, they're at the right end of the ground, Richmond. Just under 15 to play. Got to get the next one. Hanneth, well done to Barlow. This won't be a mark for Subban. In the end, he did well to actually wrap up the mark because he drew the free kick. That was clever.
To the opposite pocket, Barlow. Steady night from Barlow. Coming up for 25 possessions. Slips under the radar so often. Up was Hanneth, falls behind. Deledio eventually got it across to Hooley. Hooley across his body. Going back with courage, Edwards. Now has a bit of a fumble. That was clever. Knocks it to White. White's in desperate trouble. Got boots. A ball. Play on's the call. Gee, that was a pretty tough call. That might have been 15 metres. Seen them paid for less. Freo, as a result of the kick going out on the full, will take the footy. That's Barlow again. What a player he's been. And I suppose when you think back to his first injury, or the worst injury he had, that broken leg, had the rule been in, as it is these days, that's a terrible kick out of bounds on the
see
full.
where they adjudicated about 40 metres out, so how long along the line it actually went over.
Yeah. He was a man involved in the sliding rule, Barlow, before there was a sliding rule.
He's a chance from here, Dusty Martin, I reckon.
Absolutely. Powerful kick. Started brilliantly again tonight. He's up to 17 possessions, most of them coming in the first term, and what a kick! What a kick! And Fremantle confronted again with a team close enough. Oh, that was a wonderful kick. May inspire him too. He's gone to the faithful down there behind the goal. So the margin back to 8. We discussed it just after the three-quarter time break. Fremantle leave people hanging around. It's in their nature. And as a result, something like that can be the spark that unleashes the genie for the Tigers.
There's always a chance from there, Dustin Martin. Just a great kick of the foot. He had the open face with the right foot.
You called it, Tom.
Thanks, Dan.
He liked it, didn't he? Richmond showing some character here. It's 8 points. And they've got the clearance. Cochin with the free kick. He was being held on to. That's what he's got in front of him. He goes long down towards Marriage. Oh, Ibbotson, well done.
It's been good.
See, there was a big, hard man in Ivan Marriage coming, and Ibbotson, that took some courage. He goes short to Griffin.
Tom, what you said before is spot on. All of the Freo defenders, they just play the ball in the air. They don't get preoccupied with the forwards. They've been fantastic tonight.
Subin, and with him Hooley, and Hooley did okay. They're just reaching over the top. He knocked it out. So Fremantle's lead only 8 points, and suddenly it's the Dockers just a little nervous.
Well, as Dennis said, they do give you a sniff because they are vulnerable if you can get it inside your own attacking forward 50 quickly.
Reminder, Ross Lyon has never lost to Richmond as a coach. It's 8 and 1 draw. 8 wins, 1 draw. Fife was the big fly there. Now there's a free kick. It's Richmond's way. Grimes has played on. He's allowed the advantage, and now Vickery's got it on half back. They can set up again here, the Tigers, showing a little bit.
They trail by 8. Ty Vickery sends it beyond the wingman. Marriage manhandled behind the pack. Griffin takes the mark, lays it off to Barlow. Irrepressible. Barlow to Clancy Pearce.
Jack, hold! Good move by Fremantle. They started the ruckman back in defence and played the forward ruckman at the centre bounce. So they've got plenty of height for those long balls in for Richmond now.
Everton up to 21 possessions now. Daniel Pearce. Still a long way to go in this one. 12.5 minutes. Pearce hard against the line. Vickery in that pack. Over the top. Hanneth was grabbed by a teammate, as it turned out. Here's Grigg. Little chip pass down towards half forward. Marriage didn't complete the mark. The man who kicked that wonderful last goal, he's inspired himself. Martin's away. Pearce got a touch. Martin goes long. He might have kicked another one. Just wide. Just wide. Dustin Martin has elevated his own game because of what he did 3 minutes ago.
Maybe with a point to prove to after last week. Disappointing second half, just the 2 disposals. Spurs kick in a quick one to Ball. They're coming, the Tigers. De Boer shields the light, does McFarlane, takes the mark, back pocket, he chips upfield, and Johnson's got it. Needs to be good there. Nahas was closing the gap. Couldn't reach. Johnson
very good, hasn't he? Very good.
Johnson to Spur now, still inside defensive 50, not a lot to go to for the Dockers, although Crowley breaks free. He wanted to go, he's close to the line, he does go. Long one down towards Griffin, that's a good mark, pushing back off Vickery. Now he can send it towards Main with a big fly. Third attempt, not quite. Hanneth, the first gamer, went to ground. Grimes with him. De Boer out to Walters, taken high.
That's the first of the ball. You get to the first of the ball, then you put the pressure on the tackler not to give away the free. It was just a really frantic desperation. Who could get their hands to the footy first? Just the high tackle slightly.
Set shot kicking, a bit of a feature tonight. 7-1 for Richmond, for Freo rather. 8-1 for Richmond, and Walters now for his third. What a terrific fly by Main too. No Pavlich created the contest, did Main. Walters, well, his last 2 kicks at goal, most uncharacteristic. One on the siren at three-quarter time, he got right under it, and that one just drifting across the face of behind only. Fremantle's lead stays at 8 points.
Feeling the pressure. Walters, no easy goals now. Eventually Jackson. Back to Knights, a high ball. Right at the interchange gates. Vickery in front, knocked away by Dawson. I tell you what, the guy out there playing a wonderful game is Jonathan Griffin. He's up to 19 possessions now.
It's been good. Just big job too. Free kick off the ball to Vickery.
So a break for the Tigers. Vickery's got the football and Nahas has taken off. Plenty of Dockers back though. 5 on 3 in this area. Working at the back is Spur. Kicks to the outer side. Some good could come of this for Fremantle. Neil's got the run of it. There are runners behind, but they can't catch him. He kicks it down towards half forward. Walters went at the football. They took a Richmond bounce and went out of bounds.
Big job for first game of Nick Blossom. I was about to say he's got the Stephen Hill match-up mainly around the middle. And I think Hill's the most likely to be able to run, carry and really attack their forward 50 for Fremantle.
Margin 8 points. Griffin again taps it down. Fife almost through. Cochin went to ground. That hurt. Trying to burrow his way out of there. De Boer in the opposite direction. Martin spills to Marriott. Somehow kept it alive. Delidio went to ground. Grabbed by Ibbotson. Kicks down towards half forward. Falling over was Main. Coming up was Walters. Taken by De Boer. Great tackle. Got him.
Oh, it was a terrific tackle. Ellis. They were away there, Fremantle, and Ellis stood in the road. He goes out to Rance. Freo by 8 points. Less than 10 minutes to play now. The Tigers just refusing to give in Nahas. He needed to stand up there. It comes out Subin's way. Lucky ricochet. Sends it long down towards the attacking 50. It's fisted away. Here's Cochin. Got the arms free and was taken high. Martin now wants to go. There is no advantage.
Almost a sliding rule in the umpire there. It's really good there, Cochin.
1-3.
Cochin short to Hooley. Cochin comes back and gets it. Runs away from Hill. Drives the ball long. Grigg now up forward. He couldn't mark, but he hits the deck well. Gathers. Sends it long down in the McGuan direction. Revolt was there as well. Freo have got the numbers, have they? Ibbotson, yes. Across to Spur. It's a dangerous kick for Pearce. It was, Dennis.
It's a bit of perfect. But even he didn't think so in flight. He gulped. I could hear him from here.
He's got to box them in here. The Tigers have got to do a bit of Frevo. Back to Freo, really. Squeeze them right up and take the ball off them.
Credit to Lee Spur. Oh! Big leap from Main at the back of the pack. Pettit got the crumb. Gets it across to Newman. Richmond come back inside the 50. And a good mark to Spur, who moments ago trusted his ability. Got to do that in this situation. And again there. Up and taking the mark. Barlow. A little bit of touch. Gets it across to Pearce. Now a chance for the Dockers. The hand pass held up De Boer, and as a result, he was under pressure when he kicked. Taken by Huhula. Gives it away and looks away. He's had enough. He gave it to Cochin, who found White. He gave it to Martin. Now Jackson pumps it back in again. Touch ball. Punched away down there by Johnson. Trying to find his way through was McGuan. Johnson wraps a leg around there. That's a submission hold. They got a ball up.
Wasn't going to let him go. If the arms were clear, the Richmond player was in space, but great tackle.
8-point ball game. Last quarter, we've said that a bit, haven't we? 7.5 to play. Bottom of the pack again. McGuan, and the ball will be thrown up yet again.
Just saw the tackling numbers before. Certainly been a focus for the Tigers. It's been a more contested game, a lot more stoppages, but the intensity has been there from day dot for the Tigers.
So can the Tigers get it to within a kick? Bottom of that pack, Martin, he's been terrific after half-time. He hasn't stopped trying. Came out Ellis's way. Pettard, now Grigg. He went to ground. Subin, somehow it came out of there, gathered by Dawson. He thumps the ball towards the wing. Walters, important ball this one. Well done, Newman. He stood up when others were falling. Cochin, he did fall over, but had plenty of time. Sends it long. Vickery! Second attempt, Vickery marks. Drifting across, and he can make it less than a goal here.
It'd be frustrating the coach, because when he forces himself to the footy, he can mark it, but sometimes he just allows his opponent to sort of just get the body next to him and hold him out of the contest. Just got to really be desperate to get your hands at the footy.
And when you see efforts like that, you can understand why he's a top 10 draft pick. They don't go on trees, those sort of players. Eyes on the footy. It's an important kick.
Terrific mark, just drifting across. He's kicked 2 tonight, Tyrone Vickery. This for 3, and to make it just a 2-point ball game with 6 minutes to play. The Tigers are right in it. Great mark, he just drifted across. It's perfect situation for a forward.
But it's part of what the best key forwards, they go for the ball like they look like the only one who wants it. I mean, they're the only ones whether it's your Careys, your Browns, your Rewolds, they're just jumping at the footy. Travis Cloke, likely the only one who wants it. And if Vickery could do that, he would double the amount of marks he takes down there.
Looming's a really important player here. We've got Marich obviously in the ruck, but if Tyrone Vickery can exert himself in the forward 50 and take a contested mark like he just did then, well, game on.
So another big finish. Dock his biggest lead, 14 points, but they haven't kicked a goal in the last 15 minutes. Pearce tried to find a way through. De Boer stripped of the football. Griffin again, wonderful. To Barlow, look away, hand pass. The kick inside the forward 50. Well directed. Getting back is Batchelor. Batchelor swings it out wide. Jackson. Just under 6 minutes to go. 2 points the difference. And the Tigers flexing a bit of muscle here. They will not go away, these Tigers. Kicks it just beyond the wing. Big pack at the drop. Johnson, who's been terrific, feeds it forward. Gets it back from Neal. Lays it off to Pearce. Doesn't need to try and do too much. Pearce, that's a clever kick. To space, and De Boer wouldn't sit. Lines up. A bit of a nothing kick. Thumped on its way by Grimes. Now an opportunity on the other side for Ellis. The Tigers will break. Nahas is fresh. Fast was Hill. Nahas the second chance. Hill fights back into the contest, and they fight a scoreless draw. But it was worth the price of admission. That was exciting.
He was good then, Hill. He had to make a 50-metre surge just to get over them and make the contest. Otherwise, Nahas was off.
So ball thrown in on the wing. Marich got his hands there first. Down in front, Barlow. He runs away from the contest. The new player, Floston. And, gee, that was a good kick. Main marks on his chest. So Main just chipping over the top, and Subin, it's been very lively. We've said it a couple of times, almost with a point to prove tonight. A long goal, active elsewhere. He goes to the pocket. De Boer, not favoured by that. Rance, the taller man. That's a mark.
That's his mark.
He got the fist to it first, and then the second grab. And that's a good call by the ump.
Really had to get the result there, Alex Rance. He had his direct opponent, De Boer, covered for strength and height.
Rance to Cochin to Jackson. 4.5 to play. It's Fremantle leading on a Friday night by 2 points. Marich has got the footy. Who wins from here, boys?
Freo.
Lee?
I think Richmond have got a really good chance. I think they're 50-50. I'll go to Richmond.
Marich, he said boys, I know you weren't referring to me. There's an opportunity for White over the top. Some indecision. Jackson eventually cuts it away from his teammate. Goes down towards left half forward. McFarlane.
How often we've seen that? Those big defenders cutting them off.
So good tonight, he and Johnson in tandem. So McFarlane, right half back. Comes down the line. Barlow will fly from the side, then we won't get to the contest. Falls close to the boundary. McGuan could have been taken high. Umpire Chamberlain says throw it in.
It's a good example of just experience. We saw Hanneth launch at the ball with a few more games under his belt. He'd go with a bit more confidence and plunk those ones.
In front, Marich, brilliantly done. Cochin left without the football. Barlow grabbed it, kicked it immediately. Floats towards half forward. Boston, wonderful courage. First gamer going back with the flight of the football. Headed towards half forward. 2 points the difference. Opportunity now for the Tigers to grab the lead. McGuan hand passes to the pocket. Knights, who's booted three, almost through. Taken by White. White deep in the pocket. And it's hit the base of the post, has it? Well,
what happened then? I think he tried to kick it in mid-air.
Vickery did, yeah.
Instead of marking it.
Yeah, but if it brushed his leg below the knee, must have hit the post.
I think it hit the post eventually.
I reckon it did.
Interesting play regardless. It was either going through or he could have marked it.
So a point the difference. Hill, under duress, puts it out of bounds on the full.
This one's a lot longer further out, though. Yeah. This is a good 55-metre kick, probably longer.
Gee, that was odd. Hill must have been called to play on there,
yeah,
because Vickery ran across. So Deledio, he's, well, as you can see,
you'll be getting some choice advice there, I reckon, Baz, from some of your fellow West Australians.
Almost in the outer here, man on the mark, on the elbow where the 50 meets the boundary, goes short. That's a good kick. Newman's got it. It's a 1-point ball game with 3 minutes to play. A high ball towards full forward. Marich was up there, couldn't mark Mzungu with a clearing kick and fight. Oh, he's dropped the mark. Danger now, gathered by Martin to put them in front. It's across the face. It bounces out of bounds. Let's have a look at that last effort. Now, Vickery went with the boot.
It's hit the goal umpire, though.
And so
I reckon the goal umpire might have stopped it going through.
Well, I'm not sure that it crossed the line.
Well, I think the goal umpire, in the rule book, he stretches to infinity. Or, if you like, he's the goalpost.
Well, the bottom line is Vickery should have marked the ball. If in doubt.
No, it's hit the goal umpire. Would have gone through for goal, anyway. It didn't, but it hit the post eventually.
Mundy smothered off the boot. Well, it goes about 5 metres. Plenty of class here for the Tigers. Cochin to Deledio with the numbers. Favour the Dockers, emerging with it. Fife slips a hand pass into the path of Hill. Hill knees it forward and it runs away from him and goes out of bounds.
But you see the umpire stand against the post. See, he should be behind the line, but he's in front of the line. Poor goal umpiring.
Yeah, but if it does hit him, that's the rule.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, but hits him, it's just to play on.
Opportunity for Deledio. Slips it across towards a teammate in Greg. Again, they're relentless, the Tigers, trying to win this game. White blistering speed. He should score. He's kicked the goal with the outside of the right boot. Don't tell me the Dockers could be denied in the last gasp again.
I think he said, I'm going to kick it straight over Tyson Vickery's head. I'm not taking the chance again that he's going to mess it up. Just a little bit of freshness and speed when everyone else is just starting to fade. He's shown that last couple of times, Matt White.
And that is so difficult to do. He's running away from his natural right foot arc and almost lets kick it on the instep. That is just an unbelievable goal there by White.
Well, guys, don't forget Richmond lost 6 games from under 13 points last year, and they lost a lot of these close ones. All some of the talk was, what have they learned? Tactics in place to win these games? Let's see what happens now.
Still got equal numbers. There's no loading defences or anything like that at this point. They've still got 6 forwards, Richmond.
Can you believe this? Richmond with the last 3 goals of the game to lead by 5 points. 20 minutes since a Fremantle goal, and the ball will be bounced.
So it's always the thing with the Dockers when they play that really strong defensive press, they just leave themselves open for quick goals against.
They look like an 11 or 12 goal team if the opposition can get more.
Down on the bench, they're trying to yell for numbers back.
Here's Fife, then sends it long. Walters lurking dangerously, trying to run onto this football. Well done, Rance. Did he push him in the back? Umpire's there and says no, throw it in.
But just to point on that, Richo, I mean, should you really need to go to the bench to know you've got to push numbers back when the situation's like this?
You shouldn't need to be told. You've got to take it on yourself as a player, I think, Tom. You know that.
Tossed in quickly. Richmond lead by 5 points into the post. Not a bad result for Fremantle.
That's a very good result.
I think Justin Marriage is saying, which is the ruckman is my opponent? Because there's 3 ruckmen up here.
Sense of deja vu after that Bombers game. Ballantyne! Ballantyne gets his 4th. 20 minutes between goals for the Dockers. And what a time for the little man to bob up. What a heartbreaker for the Tigers.
That's a really interesting call, that ruck contest, because Fremantle had their 2 ruckmen up. Now, you've got to nominate who's the ruckman, but basically Fremantle, both their ruckmen competed against Marriage, got the ball forward, and Fremantle run onto it. Have a look at this. I guess it's 3rd up, but either way,
a couple of things.
Not quite sure that's the spirit. 2 ruckmen competing.
A couple of things to pick up on. There should have been Richmond players back from the goal, and also that stoppage there, Lee. The goal mouth was just so wide open. I mean, they're 2 basics on how to defend a lead when you've got it.
And guys, the opposite's happened now. All the Freo players have been calling for everyone to get back straight after that goal.
Got to go back to Anzac Day last year. Collingwood and Essendon for the last game to be decided by a point. Less than 90 seconds to play. Have the Tigers got a match winner? Marriage trying to get it forward. Fife grabs it for Fremantle. And we'll have another throw up inside the centre circles.
You've got Walters deep on Rance too. That's going to be a tough run for Richmond if it gets forward.
Griffin charged by Cochin. Here they come, the Tigers, down towards the 50. Important ball, Mazungu, he fisted away. Here's Ballantyne. He can run onto it and drive Fremantle forward. Out in front of Subin. Now how will this sit? Might go out. Subin gets there first. Jackson closing the gap. Ball towards Walters. Bounces to Main. He left it behind. Rance right there with him. They throw it out to Grimes. Not dead yet, Richmond. Ellis with the kick.
Just outside the defensive 50. Taken by Hooley. Little chip, barely the 15 metres. Martin, we're down to 38 seconds. An eye for the clock now. Martin sends towards the half-ball line. The first gamer. Hanneth goes up, and he's giving the instructions. Calm down, fellas. I've seen all this before. Right half back. Hanneth. Jack Hanneth from Central Districts. He would have been well scored by Roy Laird as the ball comes across towards Walters. Slung, got boot to ball. We're down to 12 seconds. Tigers, can they come one more time? Ellis, not the kick really. Hooley's got it. We're down to 6 seconds. Tigers need a mark. High ball. Where's Vickery? He flew. Ball loose at the back. Siren! Fremantle have won by 10 metres.